Hi, I'm Carly Reid from CX Today, bringing you all the latest news and conversation from the customer experience technology industry. Now, today I'm talking to Jared from LivePerson, and we'll be discussing CX in the travel sector. Welcome, Jared.
Thanks for having me, Carly. Excited to be here.
No problem at all. Thanks for joining us. So, Jared, how about we kick off with a quick intro? Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, sure. I first kind of start with setting the stage with what LivePerson does, and our mission is to make life easier for people and brands everywhere to communicate through trusted conversational AI. Rob, our CEO and founder, invented chat for brands back in the 1990s, and we've never stopped innovating from vision to tech. We've been ahead of the curve on a lot of things related to messaging and AI, and that's really put us in a very interesting position at the forefront of what we see as one of the biggest shifts in consumer behavior with regards to e-commerce. So we're enabling brands to interact with their consumers over messaging from within the same experience that those consumers are used to interacting with friends and family and loved ones. So inherently making that connection more personal. So I lead a tremendous team of professionals that are focused on improving the customer experience and driving those engagement strategies across our largest brands in North America. These include 4 out of the 5 largest US-based airlines, several large hospitality brands, and other travel-related companies that bring all of these worlds together in a very, very conversational way.
Fantastic stuff. And you guys have definitely been one to watch. So we're delighted to have you today, Jared. So let's kick off then. What sort of conversations are you having with your customers in the travel industry right now?
Yeah, the travel industry has obviously had a challenging going on 2 years now, almost 2 years. And so unlike retailers and financial institutions that are able to quickly move their business online and continue to operate, travel companies are really stuck. Yeah, you can bank and buy from retailers online, but you can't travel virtually, right? So when that industry shuts down, your sources of revenue are really gone, right? So our customers are feeling optimistic about the future with consumers getting back to domestic leisure travel, especially over the last summer season. And the steady return of business travel is starting to happen now. With that spike, however, a lot of airlines and other travel brands are experiencing challenges with labor and addressing the care and sales demand with a labor force that is essentially half of what it used to be in some cases. So this is leading to longer wait times and getting back to consumers in a timely way. And these brands are looking for efficiencies, whether with labor or even automation. So when you think about the concept of the travel vouchers and the credits that were issued throughout the pandemic, the travel companies are also seeing the labor shortage that we have with the inbound influx that's going to be taking place, especially in the first half of 2022, from these passengers coming in to cash in on these credits and leverage these vouchers for future travel. So a lot of the conversations we're having with not only our customers, but our prospective customers are how can we not only give them the great technology and tools, but also supplement this labor and take the keys end to end of their conversational AI strategy. So that frees them up to not only worry about the hiring and training of their agent population, but focus on making that customer experience the absolute best it can be. From shifting away from the consumer side as well, something we're really proud of is we're using our technology. We feel we have a responsibility to use our technology to the greater world and make the world a safer place by launching Bella Health, which is essentially conversational AI supporting employee and traveler health and safety. So we've turned our AI expertise towards testing and developing Bella Health to help companies run self-testing programs to keep their employees safe. And so fast forward to today, that app is being used by over 25,000 people every time they go into the office. So it's not only the consumer-facing side, but we're helping brands keep their employees safe as well.
Fantastic stuff, Jared. And those sound like some really insightful conversations. So thanks for sharing those with us. So what are the challenges faced by the industry, and do they need to act now before it's too late?
Yeah. So, like I was saying, many of the consumers are eager to get back. I think if you're anything like me, I'm eager to get out there and see the world again, right? And we're starting to put our toe into the pool a little bit there. But even despite the ongoing threat of the Delta variant and all the unknowns that we still have, the labor shortages, the changing regulations, the possibility of quarantines, regardless of vaccination status, is really creating challenges in the industry running smoothly. It's still very, very choppy. Travel is inherently more stressful today than it has ever been. And the customer experience is paramount here. So travelers are already taking those precautions, undergoing testing to get to their destination, all those different things that can cause anxiety. So airlines and hotels have an opportunity to actually ease that burden of the traveler or the consumer. And personalization is going to be key in anticipating the needs of those travelers or consumers. By creating more personal relationships with your customers, you're also building inherently brand loyalty. So consumers are more willing than ever to share more of their personal data with a brand through messaging if it means getting better service and getting their needs addressed more quickly. So travel brands have always been very good at being reactive to the needs of the consumer when they were to call or to message. But the needs of the consumer are changing drastically and rapidly. So we're working with brands on how we can be more proactive and anticipate a lot of these needs of the consumer by what we know about them, making it more personalized and alleviating that stress. One example I think about is working with an airline on in-flight onboard messaging. So imagine you take off late and you're trying to make your connection. You don't think you're going to make it. Instead of just sitting there with a ball of stress and anxiety throughout that whole flight, if you can use the onboard experience to then message with somebody at that airline and change your flight before you even land, that allows you to know that you're taken care of once you land, and then you don't have to sit there stressed out until you have a chance to call or to message. So none of this is easy to do, by the way, given all the variables and the labor shortages that I talked about, but technology can really make a difference in allowing brands to scale some of these customer care capabilities.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks, Jared. Now, you spoke a little bit about technology there, but how can smarter technology help the industry navigate their current and future customer experience problems?
Yeah, I think the future thing is something that we all need to consider. So as travel is trying to scale back up, the industry does need to consider alternative solutions to the more archaic and legacy communication channels with their consumers, and getting them the information as quickly as they can and getting them on their way. We recently commissioned a study where we found nearly 3/4, like 73%, prefer messaging to calls when making airline or hotel or other travel related reservations. Among the 18 to 23-year-old demographic, that number reaches an incredible 90%, making it clear that the future of travel will be dominated by brands that can adopt and scale messaging experiences for sales, marketing, and care. The same study found 66% would like to have their airline or hotel or travel company in their phone contacts. That jumps to 81% for 18 to 23-year-olds. 58 would like to have a direct line to their airline or hotel or travel company on social media. 68% for the 18 to 23-year-old demographic, right? So tomorrow's business traveler is coming in with these expectations. So the businesses that we're working with are finally tapping into the commerce aspect of conversational AI as well. So this is providing opportunities for consumers to browse and shop via messaging. So we're seeing travel companies capture a messaging opportunity by using it as a commerce tool, even for ancillary revenue like upgrades and purchasing amenities on flights. So this allows consumers to book in the messaging conversation that they're already in, versus having to leave and then pick up the phone or call or go out to a website, their digital fortress that they've created. So those are some of the big things that we're looking at And we think brands need to be thinking about with the future and what that future demographic is going to bring.
Great stuff, Jared. And last question then. So just tell us what solutions are on offer for travel leaders in the wake of the pandemic.
Yeah. So when we think about travel 3 years ago, for instance, versus today, the intentions and the reasons that people are coming and engaging with these travel brands are drastically different. So when you think about 3 years ago, there might have been a small group of people handling the refunds at an airline because refunds are so rare, right? It's usually issued as credit and very, very rarely is money actually returned. Come to the pandemic, there's a backlog that might take somebody 6 months to get through, especially going into the middle months of 2020. All the intents around COVID and testing procedures and mask requirements, we never would have imagined in the past. So the intelligence that lives within our platform can quickly identify when these things are trending and when these topics are becoming more relevant. That allows brands to quickly develop these automations, again, from within our platform, that can get people the answers they need without having to involve a human. So a consumer gets information faster, brands leverage their reduced labor in strategic ways. And we're doing this today for an airline that actually stood up a COVID bot at the onset of that pandemic. Within 32 hours, that deflected 60% of the incoming COVID-19 related intents. That's major efficiency gains, right? Our messaging solution isn't just about messaging. It's about allowing us to understand and anticipate these customer needs and be adaptive, right? So there are some of the pieces within LivePerson that we're providing to brands that we wouldn't have thought in the past and our competition aren't doing today. But around these intents and what's trending and what people are introducing into the market, we're able to adapt very, very quickly. With regards to channel strategy, consumers can message with brands where they already spend most of their time, with SMS or WhatsApp or Apple Business Chat, of course, the legacy brand app and website as well. But what's emerging for us is in the social messaging area. So we're actually engaging consumers in social channels that allow them to build loyalty and create new commerce opportunities. So the intents help identify purchase or care opportunities, which can then be addressed quickly in both public and private channels. So several of the world's largest brands, including Delta Airlines, for instance, have signed on to us to help them provide their full suite of social platform needs, which allows them some flexibility from an agent perspective, making most of that labor, whether it's messaging or social. We can shift them around and be a lot more flexible and adaptable.
Brilliant. And congratulations on Delta. That's amazing news. Thank you, Jared. So, Jared, I've really enjoyed speaking to you today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me. Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you too. So that's it from us. If you've enjoyed our conversation, then please do give us a shout out on social. And if you're a CX fan and want to see more like this, then you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter at cxtoday.com. I'm Carly Reid from CX Today. Thanks for watching.